Hey there planners, we are back today with the next video in the series for how to set up a brand new bullet journal. This is for bullet journal beginners, and we are going to be talking about the future log, which may be one of the most important elements of your bullet journal. So go grab your bullet journal and let's get planning. All right, so we've talked about the key, we've talked about the index, and we've set up one of the greatest hacks ever with our grid spacing cheat sheet. And we are going to be using that today. So now it is time to set up our future log. If you have missed any of the other videos in this series, go check those out in the description box below so that you're all caught up and ready to move forward today. So I have a Pinterest board linked in the description box below that will give you all kinds of inspiration for future logs. I also have a video all about the importance of future logs, and I'll have that linked down below as well. Future logs are the backbone of your bullet journaling system. To put it very simply, a bullet journal is a blank notebook. There's nothing there. You set up the planning features in the bullet journal, and there are different methods that you can do that. You can plan as you go. You can set it all up at once. However you decide to do it. The point is, when you come across things that are going to occur beyond the place where you have set up your bullet journal, you need a place to put them. In a traditional planner, you would just flip over to September and write it on the September calendar. But there may not be a September in the bullet journal that you have because you haven't gotten there to set it up yet. So you need a safe place to capture all those future items so that nothing falls off your radar and then you forget your sister's very important wedding or other examples like that. So we're going to talk about how I set up a future log in my bullet journal so that I never miss any of those future activities. Now, when you look at different inspirations for future logs, you see these little miniature calendars that can be a real headache to set up. I'm going to give you my hack today, and that is to find yourself a good source for miniature calendars for the year that you're working in and print it out, or get some stamps with calendars, but even those can be tricky and a lot of work. I really like to print them out. This came from Lovely Planner. I will have a video linked down below with the sources that I use for all my favorite free planner printables, and Lovely Planner is one of those. I'm going to be using this today as a cheat in my bullet journal so that I can quickly reference anything I need. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and get it set up and talk about how I'm going to use it. Okay, I've got this cut out. I put some double-sided sticky tape, and now I'm just going to pop this onto the page right there. Now, in a traditional planner, this is called a year at a glance. I'm going to be using it to help me set up and use my future log. Now, for the future log, in thinking about page spacing, I really want to use the next 3 pages for my future log. And so that means I've got 12 months. I'm going to put 4 months on each page. So I have to be thinking about how am I going to divide up the pages to be able to fit 4 months. Well, lucky for us, we set up this handy grid spacing cheat sheet in the last video, and we know exactly how to spread out 4 boxes on the page. So for this one, I'm actually going to go with 4 columns with no space. That way I maximize my writing space. And I know if I need 4 columns with no space between the columns, that's 6 boxes. So I can come right over here and divide my page up. I'm going to leave myself some room to write the months. I'm using a mild liner highlighter for this. You can use a pen or a marker or whatever else you have, but I'm going to give myself a little space at the top. I'm just going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes and then draw a line across. According to my grid space cheat sheet, if I want 4 columns, it's 6 boxes over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to draw a line there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there we go. There are my 4 columns, and now I just need to give these columns a title. So this is going to be, I'm actually going to start with February. So the reason I don't start with January is because let's say I'm setting up this for the brand new year, and the first month and weekly and daily pages I'm going to set up are January, where I really don't need a future log for January because I'm setting up the calendar for that month. The same thing applies if you're starting a bullet journal in April. The first month you're going to set up is April. You don't need a future log column for April because you already have that set up. You would start with May. You would start with whatever the next month is after the first month that you're using your bullet journal. So I'm going to start with February. And I'm actually going to alternate colors. I've got my light and dark gray. All right, so there are my first 4 months. And the way I would use this is just come in and make a note. I know that, you know, let's say Bob's birthday is in April. I would just come in here and put Bob's B-Day on the 13th. And then when I go to set up my April calendar, I could come here, look at everything that's happening that I've captured on my future log in April and pull over the items. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the next 2 pages to complete the future log. Hey guys, did you notice that I put the wrong month there? I went February, March, April, June. So I wanted to show you how I quickly fixed that, because as I turned the page to get ready to do the next month, I realized what I had done. I actually took a spare piece of dot grid paper, cut it down, double-sided taped it right over top and fixed it. So I thought this was a great example to show you that mistakes happen. They happen to the best of us. Even if you've been bullet journaling for 8 years, they still happen, and there's always a way to fix it. So do not rip pages out. Do not throw your journal away. Just fix it and keep going. All right, so I wanted to talk about what I'm going to do with this extra space. You can see I've got February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then I've got this extra box. I'm actually going to make this a catch-all for the next year. So I just have anything that goes beyond the current year that I'm on, I would just plop into here, and then as I'm setting up the next bullet journal, I would come here and grab that. So this is a very simple future log to set up in your bullet journal. You can get much fancier and more creative and more decorative. You can actually print out a couple of these, cut these out, put them at the top so you actually have the months right above each column to reference as you're setting it up. There are so many awesome options for how to set up a future log. The important part is that you set up a future log in your bullet journal, because you're really going to need it in order to make sure that you have all the information as you're setting up as you go through the bullet journal. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Leave any questions that you have down in the comments below about future logs or any of the other aspects of setting up a bullet journal for the first time. I'm so glad I had a mistake and was able to show you how to fix it and how to not let mistakes throw you off your game when it comes to bullet journaling. You're going to make a ton of them. I have been bullet journaling for 8 years. I still make them. You cannot let that completely ruin you or feel like bullet journaling's not for you. It is. It is going to be completely functional, and they're very easy to fix. So just keep going when you make mistakes. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and let me know. Subscribe to Planning Annie so that you can stay up to date on how we're setting up this bullet journal and that you don't miss any content. Thanks for planning with me.